Hello and welcome. Today I'm going to take you along with my learning journey for Heroes of Might and Magic Olden Era, but show you how I win on hard difficulty. For me, there's a huge bump going from normal to hard. On normal, things felt really easy, I was crushing it. I go to hard, all of a sudden I'm the one getting crushed. I've noticed a few comments on the Steam forums and Reddit of other people feeling the same. So now that I've gotten to the point where I can consistently win on hard, I want to share some of my experiences. That said, I am not an expert in Olden Era. I'm learning. I have about 50 hours in the game so far, and I'm new to the franchise. So, if you are an expert, please do point out any areas where I've misplayed. Just remember, this video is about learning, so be polite and be constructive. And so, let's get right into it with a quick play match. Now, I'm going to be playing on the Yin Yang map, mostly because this is my favorite map right now. However, the map that you choose will influence what you're going to do in the early game. The Last Fortress, for example, you have one city, which severely limits your econ from city building. Meanwhile, in Infinity, you start with 2 cities, and the nearby areas are absolutely filled with more, so actually it's more of a mad scramble to get as many cities up and running as possible. In Yang, it's a little more balanced. Also, you have 2 opponents, which adds a nice bit of challenge. Also, I'm going to go with the Temple because this is the group that I've practiced with the most. In terms of leaders, honestly, the Temple has a lot of really good leaders. I've had a pretty good amount of success with Old Lord Mandel. Let's see. Lord Edgar's decent. Creatures gaining attack and defense really helps with low-level units that tend to have low attack and defense of their own. Also the Kestrel, because one of my favorite early game strategies is to focus on range. So for today, let's go with the Kestrel. Now, to understand a little bit about difficulties here. Normal, you start with extra resources. The AI starts with less resources. Neutral squads are easier to kill. And the AI plays worse. Let's just go with the AI plays worse. Now, when you go up to hard, you have less starting golden resources, so you do have to be more tactical with your planning. The AI starts with more resources. Neutral squads have more troops, more on that shortly, and the AI is more aggressive. Stepping up again to unfair, your resources are significantly limited, basically half of what you had when playing on normal. Neutral squads are stronger, AI pretty much the same, but it has more resources, meaning it can do more. Then you get to impossible and apocalyptic, which basically, good luck. So, since this video is going to be about moving from normal to hard, we're going to select hard here and start game. So here we are. First up, we're going to go into the city. Now, what you build first really depends on what faction you play. With the Temple, especially playing as Kestrel, I want to heavily focus on range. That's where I'm going to get a lot of my early game value. But the first thing I'm going to build is a Hippodrome, so that I have cavalry who can hit hard and kind of just crush stuff. However, if I was playing the Dungeon faction, I'd be rushing Minotaurs. If I was playing the Hiver Grove, I'm not sure, I have not played them quite as much. If I was playing the Necromancer, I would actually be going to boost up my units and get skeleton archers as soon as possible so I can grow those stacks. These are the strategies that so far have worked for me. Basically, get a couple of key troops, then focus on econ for week 1. So here we go, Hippodrome, then recruit all, and break them up over a couple different groups. I'm going to do this and this. So these 2 get me 2 attacks, and I can also recruit another hero, which will get me even more troops. So Ith is a Pathfinder, meaning additional line of sight and no movement penalties. But his troops aren't going to be particularly useful to me. Whereas Leah, the Untethered one, daylight spells, which doesn't really help in the early game when I'm just going to send her to explore. But late game, and especially since this map has limited heroes, I'm going to want another fairly powerful hero. Leah would not be my first choice, but I do think I'm going to take her over Ith, and I could always get rid of her and hire someone else later. So the next thing to do, split equally, distribute these units, put a griffin here, like so. And now I need to explore and start gathering resources, and I already see some good things. First up, a gold mine. You need wood, ore, and gold for a lot of things early game. Recruiting troops takes gold. Building buildings takes wood, ore, and gold. So, this is a really good start. There's also some extra things around the map, but I'm not going to worry about those as much on my main hero. Instead, I'm going to go do this, and I'm also going to break off a couple of units here. There we go. And destroy them. So I'm just going to build out my main formation like so. Now my goal is going to be to kill these guys as soon as possible within the first round, as they are the more dangerous enemy. These guys, not nearly as dangerous. But it would also be nice if I could get a strike in using my cavalry without the enemy getting to damage me. So that's why I went here, because this has an attack range of 2 squares, so it can't reach, and this can only go to here. Meanwhile, on my griffin, I'm going to wait. My crossbowmen, they're just going to shoot. Take out some of the enemies, and oh look, a high morale proc. Lucky hit and high morale are both very good ways to get in additional damage, which is also why taking morale upgrades is good. Now you might be wondering, why did I break this crossbowman off? They can't do that much damage on their own. The answer is, each attack builds focus. 2 for melee, 1 for range. So next thing here, I'm going to move them up, because I want them to deal with the troglodytes later. And I'm going to move this guy up specifically to here, which should mean that when the enemy goes in and attacks... Oh, they didn't go in and attack. Interesting. All right, well, my griffin's going to go ahead and smack here. I take a counter, but it's not enough to kill a stack. And so now, as long as I kill this before they get another turn, I will not lose any troops. Here, my cavalry can attack the troglodytes. I can soften them up with a heroic strike, like so. Then do this. It's a little bit risky because I'm going to eat a counterattack, but I don't think they kill. Yeah, they do not kill cavalry. So now the griffin does this. Kills that off. Crossbowman shoots. Crossbowman shoots. Crossbowman shoots. And I attack and finish them off. So I did all that, killed all the enemies. Because I baited things correctly, I lost no units. This guy did not get to act, but that's fine. And so now I take the gold mine and everything around it. And I could go here, or I could continue down the road. Now, on this map, I know if I follow any of the roads, I'm just going to run into enemies that I can't kill yet. So I'm not really going to rush the road. Instead, because this is unguarded, I don't need to grab it with my hero who actually has, troops. Instead, I'll go here. And I got my first level up. Because I start with basic offense and basic righteousness, advanced are both offered, or I could take basic defense. Now, I'm going to look at this quickly because I want to see what are the options for my hero. Taking certain skills sort of act like set bonuses, where you could have the swashbuckler set, investing into luck and morale and basic attack damage, or you could have the paragon set. Since each of these require 5, and they typically don't have overlap, I don't think you can ever get both on a hero, though feel free to correct me down in the comments if you can actually get both. But for now, I'm going to go with advanced offense, and specifically archery. And now I'm just going to look around. What can I do? The Trophy Hunter's Den, going to be a little bit difficult. But over here, the Muse. That's what I want to go towards. So I'm just going to come down like this. Grab the remains. I can't quite make it up there. I don't want to fight that thing. As handy as gold is, I'm going to grab this just to get another level on my main hero. Okay. Basic wisdom, expert offense, advanced righteousness. This is where I have to look at the wiki, because I think the second swashbuckler symbol is wisdom, but I have to look it up. Okay, yes, it is expert wisdom. So basic wisdom, that takes me down the path. Cool. And now I go back to my city. I grab my other hero. I'm limited to 2 out of 2, so I don't need to worry about recruiting another one. And I send her over here. Capture this. Get the bonus. Extra resources. And oh, look. See if I agree for myself. I did not. Perfect. Cool. So that is a really strong start. I've got basic resources, wood and ore. I've got a decent bit of gold, which I can use to fuel my building. And I have a muse. Wait, is this? Ooh, that's a Colosseum. That's also really good. I don't think I'm going to be able to take that on quite yet, though. We'll see. One interesting thing here is a Quix's altar, which gives a morale bonus. So when you interact like this, which I'm doing more for the sake of demonstration than because this hero actually needs it, you get a morale bonus, which means your units have a chance to act multiple times. All right, back in the city, what am I going to do next? I'm going to focus on unlocking the Solar Temple 2 to get some law points. Because having extra law points means I can invoke more faction laws. And I'm going to have Kestrel attack here. Or more accurately, I'm going to try to minimize my losses while attacking this group of Kestrel. Because there are enemy ranged units, and that can be problematic. If I get a morale proc, it's super easy. Aha! It's super easy! I win! Because I can do this, and now they can't do their ranged attack. And I don't think either of these units can do enough damage to actually kill a cavalry. Let's see. I am going to shoot this because I don't want them doing any extra damage to my cavalry over here. So I'm going to get their numbers as low as possible, like so. Also, build focus points so I can heroic strike. Ooh, they decided to wait. Sure, let's heroic strike there because she's going to try to hit my cavalry. That's fine. And then go here with this guy. Go here with this guy because I want this enemy to move up and attack. Oh, that's so unfortunate. Because all he can really do is die. Right, cavalry counters. That's good. He dies, but this means the enemy unit is exactly where I want them. My cavalry more or less finishes these off. My archers should be able to do the rest. Because if you ever think about the enemy moving closer like this, the penalty has gone from 50% to 70%. There we go. Basically flawless victory. And I recruit more crossbowmen for my stack of death. Can I take this on? Ooh, I can. Easy battle. Okay. Let's level up first. Daylight magic is not something I need. Primal magic is not something I need. I mean, daylight magic is cool. But I think I'm mostly going to be casting Nightshade spells. So I'm going to go for Advanced Righteousness instead. And the Fields of Serenity, really big bonus in the super early game. So let's go with that. And engage in another battle. Try to get as many powerful troops as possible here. I'm just going to straight wait here. And I'm going to have my cavalry strike this. Does a little damage, but that's totally okay. This enables my heroic strike. I do want to do as much damage as possible to these guys. But these guys are going to go before I get a turn. So... like this. Heroic strike to finish it off. Wait. Shoot. And finish it off. Cool. Any of these guys would be squishies. They're low-tier troops. So that's perfect. Scouting and combat. Neither of which fit into the build I'm planning. So expert offense. Also, expert offense is insanely strong early game. I don't actually know the math on Firmness versus Shadow Blades. I suspect the answer is early game Shadow Blades is better and late game Firmness is better. Because if you have a really powerful unit, they're going to benefit more from Firmness, lowering enemy creature defense. Whereas if you have a bunch of weak units, Shadow Blades. Okay, so maybe we're not getting cavalry for a little bit. Don't be afraid to retreat from fights that you absolutely cannot take. Ooh, luck. Part of me wants to try grabbing the morale and luck buff and then fighting something ridiculous. That's probably a bad idea, though. For now, I'm going to build a bank. And I have, what, 4 days till the end of a week. I think that's enough to do this. We'll find out soon. It's slightly risky to go after the Whispering Stones. But I'm also right here, and I kind of don't want to go out of my way. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Split off a unit. And we will see how this goes. Mostly these guys I want to worry about. These guys are a little slower, so it's not as bad. In good news, my crossbowmen do pretty good damage to them. The ideal would be to be able to attack some of them while staying out of her attack range. We'll see if that's actually possible. For now, I'm going to go here. Okay, if I've planned all this correctly, the whole attack while out of her attack range should end up working out here. Let's see. Ooh, a lucky strike. Nice. So, heroic strike here. Wait on the griffins. So she can still attack my cavalry. But my archers are going to get to go first and do a whole bunch of damage. So I don't think she actually kills the cavalry here. I was going to say, I'm going to feel real dumb if she does. But she doesn't, so we're good. And another flawless victory. So over the next couple days, I'm going to spend some time just farming things out. I'm not going to do anything too interesting, so let's just jump ahead in the video. Before I do, though, a quick reminder, if you've been finding this helpful, do be sure to leave a like. It really helps out with the YouTube algorithm. And also, if you want to know how to win, or anything else about Heroes of Might and Magic Olden Era, get subscribed. Definitely going to be covering the game in future videos. Okay, so first and foremost, Elite Crossbowman 2. Second of all, I can recruit new troops or build a treasury. How soon can I pick up my new troops? I could do it this turn if I didn't do this. Let's see if I do this. Yes, destroy them. Okay, I can't pick up my troops till next turn. But I want to make sure I have them all ready to go. Just so I don't accidentally spend a gold on something. And a mage guild's a good idea. So let's do a mage guild. Other hero's just going to kind of run around collecting stuff. Because at the moment, that's all she's good for. Okay, because I got the mage guild, rank 2, I've now unlocked the Radiant Forge. Well, once I do the Sundrop Chapel. That's good for progression towards Archangels. I think the next thing I'm going to build, though, is probably a treasury and then fortifications by the end of the week so I get more troops. But for now, I'm just going to add things to my troop stacks. Then just slowly build out upgrades. But the next thing to do, either take on this or this. I think I'm going to go with this one. I'm going to save before doing it in case this is a really dumb idea. But I think with the morale, it's better to go this way. Oh, I can get some extra EXP first. Perfect. Oops, misclicked my hero. Alright, let's see how this fight goes. Oh god, their initiative is terrifying. How much damage can I do? Ooh, okay, if I roll max damage, I can kill them. Is there anything I can do to guarantee it? Let's see. In large shadows, target friendly creature gains attack and defense. Short and shadow, target enemy loses. Or... I guess I might as well just blessing. There we go. And that should kill one stack outright. Alright, one left. That's fine. This should do considerable damage to the second stack. Which it did. Good. He waits. Slow enemy goes first. Move up by exactly one. So if I move my griffin here, it'll get attacked by this, which shouldn't be able to kill one. Which is kind of perfect. And I can also use this griffin as bait over here. And I don't think 4 can kill a cavalry either. So with any luck, the counterattacks should take out both enemies. Woof. Ooh. Okay. I underestimated that. Higher tier units are terrifying. One of them can kill a cavalry? How much fucking damage do these things do? I really wish there was a better visual indicator in this game as to what actually does damage. Because holy, some of the factions that I'm less experienced in fighting, I just get trucked randomly. Okay, I'm gonna wait on that. Cool. That was a costly win, but it could be a lot worse. And I've now opened up a new area to explore, which means tons of resources. So I'll be able to recover very easily, and I don't actually care about most of this because my ranged units will just one-shot. Like so. Now, okay, this was not the right way to go. I needed to go this way. Good to know. I'm going to have this hero come behind and kind of grab all the little gold piles. Also build out a treasury. And go into Heroes of Tails so that I can get more morale, which means I will get double turns more often. That's an easy battle. This is an easy battle. Sure, let's do that. Let's do both of these. These enemies are going to be tankier, so I'm not going to assume just free win. Although, let's see. Let's see how much damage we can actually do to them. 6 to 7? Not bad. Gonna buff myself with some daylight magic. That go up 7 to 9. Yes, it does. Oh, perfect. See, that investment into morale. Exactly what you want. Now they get to advance. I will focus fire on this with my melee units. And then my range units will focus over here. These guys are real tanky, but they don't actually hit that hard, as I remember. They're not that hard. I mean, I wouldn't want my squishier units to eat a strike, but after all the damage, it should be totally fine. Let's see. If this single stack unit had gone first, it would be ideal to use Piercing Shot. Sadly, this unit did not go first. Okay, advanced leadership. And reduce enemy morale. Perfect. If enemy morale gets lower, they have a chance to skip their turn, which is really important. And then destroy, and this is going to be super easy, so I'm not even going to try. That is a tough fight. Even if we assume the minimum roll here, that is a tough fight. I'll take morale again to maximize my chances. And I'm going to collect some resources. You can actually do something cheeky here. See how this is guarded? This stack isn't. This stack is. That stack is. Sometimes you can do cheeky things and grab extra resources. So I think I want to do Sundrop Chapel, Fortifications, and one more building. So I'll do the Sundrop Chapel first. Gonna save here, just in case my army gets wiped. Being able to save is a very good learning tool, because if you lose, you can try again and do things better. Have cavalry weight, have griffins weight. Of their 4 range stacks, it looks like I can functionally take out 2 of them. Which also means I might want to do Shortened Shadow. They attack twice, so that makes them extra dangerous. Maybe Shortened Shadow isn't right. Maybe I put Carapace on one of my archers, which I think will mean they just attack the other one. I'm not entirely sure sometimes about enemy targeting. There's a really cool higher level Nightshade spell that just disables ranged attacks. That would be insane here. Sadly, no such option right now. Yeah, let's try Carapace. It's probably my best bet. And do this. Oh. Or I just get lucky. I forgot they just get lucky. Because if you have enough morale procs, just getting lucky is a totally viable option. Right, now something gets hit, probably this. Ooh, are they going after my cavalry? Interesting. This is where I don't understand enemy targeting priorities, because I genuinely don't think they can actually do enough damage to kill the cavalry. So I don't know why they're... See, they targeted something else. Why did they target something else and not the others? Keep that out of attack range, like so. $13. Is this going to be a bad idea? I guess I will find out. I may lose some cavalry. But at this point, my archers are kind of hard carrying, so even if I do lose another cavalry, it's okay. Not ideal. Certainly not ideal, but it's okay. This is all about learning. This time I won't lose another one, though. Because now I do this, she can't do ranged attacks anymore. Oh, she's just going to die. I should have gone here. Slight misplay. Yeah. Too bad I have no way to split damage. Yeah, that's why going over here would have been good, because then I could have disabled another ranged attack and then shot here. Oh. Or morale proc saves me. Yeah, didn't play that quite perfectly. I probably could have conserved a couple of cavalry units, but it's so important to capture a city as early and relatively efficiently as possible that I don't really care. It's fine. And now I can go do this easy battle as well. Oh, first though, I might as well load up on a couple of extra units here. You know, replace some of my losses. Destroy them. This is not even going to be a challenge. So, wait, fire. Yeah, and so this is going to about wrap up week 2, so I will see you at the start of week 3. So we're now on week 3, day 4. I have Noble Cavalry, I have all my range units built out, and I've got a big old pile of tanks. So it is time to expand into the 3rd area. First, this fight, it's just going to be a little bit of extra loot for the war chest. And at this point, my range units are so powerful that it's an absolute joke to take these guys out. They're good EXP, though. Okay, so I need Nightshade Magic and Luck. I'm getting very close. I'm going to do Darkest Night here. Destroy. Again, free EXP, might as well. There's no chance of me taking any losses. And now there might be a slight chance of me taking losses here. I don't know, though. It's probably going to be fine. Guess we'll just see. I need to target the enemy ranged units first. And to do that, I'm going to shorten Shadow on them. This lowers their defense, makes them squishier. Easier to kill. Oh, I probably didn't need the spell there. My range damage is a little bit ridiculous at this point. Let's destroy this too. Free EXP. This is also about the point where I want to start getting my second hero a few troops, I think. I can start by grabbing these crossbowmen over here. Okay, taking my 3rd city. It is guarded, but it's all range units. So we're just going to see how my new troops do. That should be fine. Cavalry can charge, and will hopefully... high morale proc. Perfect. And now I can either take out these squishies, or significantly damage the far stronger foes, which is what I'm going to do. I'm no longer reliant on these guys for damage, so if I lost one, it would be fine. Do I get a second morale proc? No. Not so lucky. It's okay, though. With my archers, I can take out pretty much everything, no problem. Yeah, there we go. 0 losses, easy fight. So from here, next couple days, just going to be about building stuff up in my cities to get as much power as possible. Then I'm going to make a push to try to take out one of the NPC factions. Okay, let's see if I can actually get to the middle now. Don't think these guys are going to do anything really. They're slow, they're sort of tanky, but I have a lot of damage now. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Taking off 1/3 each shot. And you know what? I can even use Blessing here. And look at that damage. Sadly, the one I blessed did not roll the morale proc, but that's fine. Gonna split damage. Like so. Because now I get to take this out. And I can just focus fire all on this and it'll die very quickly. Which means I am officially into the middle area. You need to travel through the middle area to find the enemy camp. And I am on a mission to find and destroy the enemy camp. My other hero is just going to kind of play cleanup and grab units from my cities and bring them all together so that I can have a second functional combat hero. So at this point, I've got pretty much every building except for the Threshold Basilica, because I'm not building Inquisitors. I haven't found I really needed them in ranged builds. Also, I'm building out the fortifications for extra troops. Pretty much the same thing here. Obviously, I don't have the upgrade buildings, and I don't quite have the Radiant Forge. Then here, this is the newest city. It is therefore the least developed. I'm still working on the econ upgrades. But I am now going to send my second hero around, have her basically collect a bunch of troops from my cities and also outer dwellings to try to build up her army so that I can actually start killing some extra stuff. My main army is going to beeline towards the enemy. And in terms of laws, I have all the crossbowmen, the lightweaver, and the cavalry stuff. Basically, I am all in on the stuff that I'm using and not taking very much in the stuff that I am not using as much. The other thing that I'm going to do, I've been using Blessing a lot, so I'm going to upgrade it. Because remember, the more you upgrade spells, the more effective they are. And I'd really like it to be level 3, so I need to build some mage towers in my other cities to hopefully discover another copy. Right here. This is what I'm going to try to build, try to get daylight again. Because then I'll have all units getting daylight, which is going to be a huge, huge buff. Okay, and this is where I get to break into enemy territory, where things might get a little bit spicy. First thing, though, I have upgraded my hero yet again. So now I have basic battlecraft, which means when I wait on my turn, I get an attack bonus. So what am I going to do? This, because now all of my units have an attack bonus. Well, except for her, but that's fine. Don't want to get him attacked. That would not be good. Now here's where it really starts hurting. Look at that insane boosted damage. And oh, beautiful. All right. Flawless victory. So now, let's go hunting for the enemy faction. Oh look, I found them. And I found their weaker hero. Remember, you can only have 2 heroes on this map. So this is their weak one. They have a strong one somewhere. They're probably going to run back because this is one of their cities and it's about to be mine. I'm not focusing as much as I otherwise would on econ. And you know what? That weaker enemy unit running, that's totally fine. They're not carrying anything that really matters. Wait. And then I'm just going to kill everything. Because that way the enemy doesn't get a turn. There we go. And I'm going to make a labyrinth and recruit some minotaurs in case they try to attack the city. I'm also going to grab this nightshade magic. My goal here is basically to bait them until one of their higher tier heroes comes in, and then just kill it, and continue on to the next one. Meanwhile, my lands are going to be defended by a mix of just raw units, and also my second hero, who is now officially combat capable. Not super strong in combat, mind you, but more than enough to deal with an enemy hero with like 5 units on it. So I just found the better version of the enemy hero. Let's see. While this one's running around, here we go. That's their main hero for sure. And they do not have nearly as many troops as I do. So I'm just going to go ahead and brute force this battle. I do want to position my units sort of staggered, just on the off chance that they have some sort of AoE spell. The other cool thing, though, they only have 2 ranged units over here. Everything else is melee, which means I don't have to worry nearly as much as if they had a lot of range. do I want to do anything with this yet? Or do I want to wait for the attack bonus? I feel like waiting's kind of pointless when I could just one-shot any of their stacks anyway. So, no waiting. And now they have no ranged options. This I'll wait on, though. This I'll wait on. And now they get to advance a little bit. High morale. Unlucky. For them. That's not the thing they wanted to proc high morale. And here I cannot get a damage bonus on anything, so I'll kill the Hydras. I'm not worried about the Minotaurs. So I'm just going to take out the Troglodytes. Keeps me out of range of this. Perfect. This advances. That's fine. Maximize my damage on these fine fellows. Then take them out. Good old first strike. Lost a couple of troops. That was a very, very, very slight misplay. Do this for the massive charge bonus. And then just charge the Minotaurs. And also make my Knights the chosen one. For no other reason than because I can. It does not matter. I'm going to one-shot this stack anyway. Absolute devastation. The other nice thing about this, I had some artifacts, but I didn't have artifacts for every slot. And so now, is there anything that's actually a huge upgrade over the things I'm wearing? Yes. Yeah, instead of +1 defense, -1 morale to enemy creatures. And then I take this. Then I do this. I still need luck. I really hope I get luck soon. And -1 to level of enemy daylight spells. And so yeah, that's one enemy completely annihilated. And if anything interesting happens, this video will go on. Otherwise, you're about to jump ahead to the victory screen. Okay, so something I wasn't paying attention to. I equipped Chain Link, which prevents both the wearer and the enemy hero from using low-level spells, which I actually kind of want to use low-level spells, so I'm going to unequip that. The next thing I have to do is a little tricky. I need to go here and fight this thing. The problem with fighting this thing is it has the Remnant of Bad Times, so it inflicts Berserk, and so my units are going to kill each other. I don't think I really have any offensive magic options. Offensive magic's not really anything I'm too specialized in. One thing I do want to do, though. I want to upgrade this, like so. I should get extra bonuses on Kestrel, so that'll be cool. Not useful in this fight, but useful in other fights. And so now I'm just going to put everyone over here. And Sun's Aegis right here by himself. My melee units will not attack at all. Open like so. High morale. I'll go again. These things don't have very much morale, so that's very likely. Okay. Crossbow didn't do too much damage. Skip turn. I want to go here, like so. Now to 31. So I'm not going to kill either stack. Let's see. What I can do is I can sleep this, like so. Then hit this one. Unfortunate. I guess technically if I knew I was going to get from morale proc, what I should have done is slightly different ordering, but it's fine. It doesn't really matter, and having this with more healthy units is actually probably beneficial. So, he runs to hit the nearest thing, which is the other unit. So now, as long as I don't... Ooh. Do I risk it? No, I don't risk it. I'm just going to do this. End turn, end turn, end turn, end turn. It's going to go attack, like so. It gets 2 attacks, unlucky, but whatever. I can finish it off here. I lost some Sun's Aegis, but that's totally fine. These guys are really just a distraction anyway at this point. They're not part of my strategy. And so, yeah, now that I got through that, I'm going to save. And now it's time to go enemy hunting. I was trying to click it. I totally didn't realize that there was an enemy that had already looted it. Okay, there we go. So, like that. Now I'm just going to focus on sniping all of their ranged units. Not that they have very many of them, so this is not exactly going to be a challenging encounter. Buffing herself, not really going to do much, but sure. All right, now the most high mobility unit. Next, I blast this. End my turn. Can't quite take that out, can I? That's okay, though. They won't do any serious damage to my griffins, and I can totally finish them with the cavalry here. So there we go. First blood on the next enemy hero. Do you have anything good? Actually, maybe. That ring's kind of sick. The rest of their stuff, not too useful anymore. Actually, never mind. I stand corrected. Drum of War is very useful still. I should already know Blessing. But just on the off chance that I don't, I'm going to keep that. Also, at this point, I'm not going to worry about my econ. Oh, look. More enemy units. Hey there, let's have a fight. Gonna spread out. Don't want to get hit by AoE magic if I can avoid it. And again, same strategy. Target the ranged units first. This time they have a lot more ranged units. That should be fine. I might even get a morale proc. You know what? Just for fun. Where is it? Here it is. Whee! AoE buffs are fun. Totally doesn't matter for the record. Let's see, who goes first? They do, so I kill them first. Then her. And on my next turn, I just fire everything and win. You know what? I can even take out a couple more stacks right here. That's 1, that's 2, and then this will be 3. Gotta say, that army was weaker than I expected. And I don't need to do this, I'm just doing this because why not? Okay. And now I need to find their cities. They should have 2 of them. Something else that I've maxed out here is training ranged combat. And now I'm just going to go training attack, because why not? Ooh. Free luck. Luck for the win. Nope. That is another enemy hero with another very minimal army that I will just annihilate. Should I bait an attack? You know, it doesn't even matter if I do. I guess they will get a turn here. They'll get to attack my griffin. And they killed a griffin. Congratulations. At this point, I'm so far ahead that basically the win is guaranteed. And oh look, this is their strongest army, but because you're only limited to 2 heroes on this map, and I know there are 2 heroes exploring over here, I also know that this hero is not going to be properly built out. So this fight is going to be much easier than it otherwise would be. Because we're missing all of the bonuses from the traits and the levels and all that stuff. So let's see. Of course, enemy ranged attacks. What can I do about it? That's what I can do about it. And do I kill every stack? Yes, I kill every stack. So I might as well take out their angel. And high morale. Cool. I wonder if they're going to get a turn. Or will I get enough morale procs? I mean, I guess technically they sort of got a turn there. Do you have any more ranged units? No? Okay. And because I have such an investment into morale, I am just getting proc after proc after proc. Alright, and kill the Inquisitors here. They fireball my griffin. Good job, guys. I'm going to shoot the wall just because I feel like it. Does nothing. Literally nothing. And griffin comes in. Easy fight. This is why you don't open your gates. Not that it would have mattered. Okay. That's one city down. I'm going to do something a little bit cheeky here. Because I want to defend it so they can't recapture. And so I go to my neutral magic, town portal, Steel Saw. And I'm just going to garrison her here. Now if they try to recapture that, they're just going to die. Oh look, another hero with basically no troops. This is how you know the hero was probably bought this round after I wiped all their stuff. But it also means I am getting close to their city. Oh look, their city. In turn, they buy another hero, but it does not matter. I guess they do get the defender stack. That's... I'd say it's not nothing, but even with all the bonuses, it's kind of nothing. And there you go. Well, that's how you win on hard. Next up, I want to go over a few of the things I did and why they worked. First of which is my military strategy. Instead of trying to buy all the units, a mistake that I made when I was new, I just went after key units. I knew I was going to be using archers, specifically marksmen, because I was using Kestrel as my main hero. So I upgraded those as soon as possible. And I was pretty lucky with the Muse. That's not going to happen every game, but even without the Muse, I would have had more than enough power for the first couple weeks. In addition, I focused on cavalry. Why? They are fast, which makes them maneuverable. As you saw, very often I was just going across the entire battlefield, smashing someone's face in, and then getting a morale proc, so I could smash someone else's face in, which is the third part of a strategy of basically always taking luck and morale perks when they're offered to me. More chances for a critical hit dealing maximum damage, more chances to go twice. Second up, because I only needed key units, I could spend a significant amount of early resources investing in my economy. This means in the short term, I have more gold. In the long term, I have more gold, I have better law regeneration, which means I can invest in more laws. Also, I'm using my army to kill enemies, which gets me law points, so I can invest in more laws. In addition to this, having a more resilient economy adds a trickle of gems, it adds arcane dust. There's a lot of things that you have going for you. Even increased troop growth from maxing out V fortification, which I did not know until I made the mistakes to avoid video and someone pointed out in the comments, so thank you very much for that. But with all of these things, because I did not need a ton of power week 1 to do okay and to clear a bunch of easy camps, I had a much better time in week 2, and I used that additional power for the next thing, which was aggressively expanding and grabbing another city, because another city is 2 times the troops and also 2 times the economy. So, as you can think of this, it's a snowball. Week 1, you're rolling downhill, you have this little teeny snowball. Week 2, your snowball has gathered a bunch of snow, i.e. your main army has a bunch of troops and experience, and now you can roll down more easily. So, in the second week, I went out of my way to fight some more dangerous enemies, because more dangerous enemies guarding things like gold and artifacts are more rewarding than spending my time just going around clicking camps. I can click camps with my other hero, one that doesn't have any troops and doesn't need any troops, because they're just clicking things on the map. That's free resources, I might as well take them, but as I'm progressing, I want to use my army to kill dangerous enemies because that is more rewarding. And so after the first 2 weeks, I was already in a really good spot. Week 3, I mostly just tidied things up, passed some time, and built up that major army stack. Because on week 3, at the end of it, my plan was to push into enemy territory, which is exactly what I did. And the first day I came across, they just fell over. They did not have anything significant. They had not even progressed to tier 7 units. Or at the very least, I don't think they did because I didn't encounter any tier 7 units. So I completely steamrolled them. And I kind of knew the other AI was not really up to par either. I barely lost any troops in that fight. I was super ahead. I had 3 cities, plus the new ones from the AI. At this point, I wasn't really worried about building up my economy too much, but I took all of that power, all of that destruction, and then I just smashed through the last AI who had just gotten to its T7 units. Which again, I said it before, I'm going to say it again, use the power of Snowball. Get better things and use those better things to get the next better thing. Another example of this, you might have noticed some of my spells were AoE. That's because I got them to level 3, because I built extra magic buildings in my cities. I took things that enhanced spell levels on my heroes. In addition to this, I just bought some spell upgrades. If you have a spell you are casting repeatedly, level it up, because the difference between I give myself a buff that affects 1 unit and I give myself a buff that affects all my units is massive. That is a huge amount of damage, a huge amount of defense, a huge amount of potentially preventing all enemy ranged attacks. Didn't end up being a thing. I had such a high initiative and first strike advantage, I didn't need that. But if I had, it would have been an option. And so, yeah, that's how I snowballed. But hey, with that said, I'm sure I didn't play perfectly. I made some minor mistakes, lost some cavalry early, stuff like that. I may have made some bigger mistakes as well. It's just, they weren't going to punish me on hard, maybe on unfair or higher. That's where things would get dicey. But hey, that's why I'm practicing. When I first started playing, even winning on normal was a struggle. Now winning on hard is fairly easy for me. So hopefully in watching this video, you can get a little better at winning on hard as well. And if you're looking for something else to watch, maybe check out some of the mistakes that I made when I was new and how I fixed them. Also, again, if you're interested in Olden Era content, do be sure to get subscribed. I'm definitely going to be making more videos on the game in the future. Not sure if that's going to be right now or later on during the early access process. Either way, keep an eye out. Also, again, if you're a veteran player, you have some tips either from me or especially if you have some tips on how to use some of the factions I have not played as much, such as the Grove and the Hive, please do put them down in the comments below. But for now, I'm going to get going. Thank you very much for watching to the end. I'm glad you've enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.